Audio Jungle.
It was a quiet Sunday morning. I was scrolling through my social media when I saw a notification about my friend feeling sad. And just then, another old memory popped up. Pictures of us laughing, eating, and enjoying a beach vacation. It brought back many emotions, and I decided to visit my friend. And as if by design, my day seemed to adjust itself for this visit. My dentist rescheduled, my relatives canceled dinner plans, and even the cab knew exactly where to pick my friend from. The playlist in the cab had our favorite tunes, and then a notification popped up. A restaurant serving our favorite dishes. We couldn't resist. Food was served the moment we arrived, and soon others joined us, motivated by our selfies and posts. The group grew, and it turned into an impromptu outing. And then something strange happened. Music in the cab shifted to religious hymns. It felt a bit odd, but no one really questioned. And then a notification popped up again, this time suggesting a temple nearby. And even before we could decide, the cab had already taken a turn towards it. And as we reached the temple, what we saw was absolute bizarre. Men and women were lying unconscious on the ground. There were blood stains on their body. Children were crying, looking for their parents. And there were an army of drones waiting for us to kill. Well, we weren't the creators of our decisions. We were pawns in someone else's game. While this unsettling story of algorithmic manipulation might seem futuristic, but the seed of such control has deep historical roots. Hitler and his minister of propaganda, Joseph Goebbels, orchestrated one of the history's most effective campaigns of mass persuasion. They didn't just use media, they weaponized it. In 1930s, Germany, broken by wars and economic collapse, was desperate. And Hitler exploited this vulnerability. Hitler identified an enemy, promised salvation, controlled the media, censored dissenting voices, and flooded the public with pro-Nazi messaging. Public was bombarded with film, posters, radios, glorifying the Nazi party while demonizing Jews. And Goebbels put it simply, propaganda only works when you don't realize it. And that's the terrifying power of mass manipulation. And Adolf Hitler's ability to brainwash an entire nation into supporting or at least tolerating the systematic murder of millions of Jews is one of history's most chilling examples of mass manipulation. Now imagine, what if Hitler had AI? Propaganda not just on posters and speeches, but embedded in every device, every screen, and every thought. Welcome to the era of digital panopticons. In ancient Greek mythology, there is a mention of the giant creature with 100 eyes named Argus Panoptes, who was ever watchful and all-seeing. And in 18th century, Jeremy Bentham conceptualized panopticon, a technique of surveillance to design a prison where only a single guard can watch all the prisoners without prisoners knowing when they are being watched, as they could not see the guard. And this technique created constant psychological pressure on the prisoners, and they would always behave as if they are on the spotlight. And the philosophy of panopticons is very much relevant today in terms of modern surveillance and digital panopticons such as CCTV cameras and myriad of applications and platforms collecting and processing your data and observing your actions and behaviors in the online space. Now, according to a report by Statista, just 4 years ago, we had 64 zettabytes of data worldwide. And to put that in perspective, that's enough digital bricks to build 500,000 Burj Khalifas, the world's tallest skyscrapers, side by side. And fast forward to today, we're sitting at 149 zettabytes of data. Now brace yourself for this. By 2028, we will have a jaw-dropping 394 zettabytes of data. And that's enough digital bricks to build skyscrapers covering the entire planet multiple times over. Now imagine waking up one morning to find out that you can no longer buy a train ticket. Your child is denied admission to a school. Your job application is rejected. Why? Because an algorithm decided that you are untrustworthy. And this isn't the scene from a dystopian movie, this is real. In China, social credit system is scoring or turning daily lives into a system of rewards and punishments. An algorithm decides what you see, what you buy, and what opportunities comes your way. And this vast amount of data, when seen individually, viewed individually seems meaningless, but when processed, aggregated, and compiled with other digital footprints, reveal a lot more information about you. But the question is, who controls this system and who controls you? And here's a chilling truth. Wars are no longer fought with guns and bombs alone. In the past, empires needed armies, weapons, and battlefields to conquer nations. But today, they don't have horses, camels, or elephants. They don't need rockets, missiles, or military tanks. They don't have to cross borders to wage war. They can harm you from your data, even if you're far. In 1930s, propaganda was constrained by traditional media and human labor. But today, it can be automated. Now imagine an army of AI-powered bots endlessly sharing deepfake videos, doctored images, and fabricated stories, all engineered to manipulate public opinion at an unprecedented scale. Well, the digital age may feel unprecedented, but history tells us revolutions, whether industrial or technological, always create winners, losers, and power shifts. The first and second industrial revolution reshaped global politics, drove imperial expansion, fueled world wars, and set the foundation for 20th century power struggles. And as we enter into the fourth industrial revolution, we see similar patterns emerging. US and China are racing for quantum and AI supremacy. New economic models are emerging, redefining global trade, and digital infrastructure, data control, and cyber warfare are becoming new battlegrounds of power. Traditionally, wealth was built on land, labor, and financial assets. And today, data is a key source of value creation. But who owns this data? Who benefits from it? And what happens when a few powerful firms control the data that drive entire economies? And here's the shocking statistics by Oxfam. Over the past 2 years, the richest 1% have bagged nearly twice as much wealth as the rest of the world combined. Or to put it simply, wealth of richest 1% is greater than twice the wealth of the remaining 99%. And here, technology enters into the equation. Big tech platforms don't just connect us, they shape our perception of reality. And a new power structure is one where a few corporations control the infrastructure of information, commerce, and communication, far beyond the reach of traditional governments. And as we move forward, the question is not about the technology's power, but its purpose. And this reminds me of the story of King Midas, the greedy King Midas. He once wished everything he touches should turn to gold. And he exactly got what he wished for. His food, his drink, his relatives, it all turned into gold. And the king died in misery and starvation. And as Stuart Russell explains, this is a value alignment problem. If we fail to align the value of machines with the value of humans, the results can be catastrophic. And hence, as creators of the technology, we must ask ourselves, who could be affected by this? And what could be the unintended consequences of this technology? And as consumer of this technology, we must ask ourselves, are we merely accepting what is given to us, or do we have the courage to question? Are we mindlessly consuming AI-driven narratives, or are we actively shaping the future of technology? Today, we have inherited a world where power is measured in terms of data, influence, and algorithms. And if our vision is limited to winning the AI race, we will create a future dictated by fear, division, and inequality. But if our vision is astronomical, rooted in the spirit of Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam, world is one family, we will use AI not to divide, but to unite. And even today, as astronauts venture into space, they experience something called overview effect. That from a distance, a profound realization that from a distance there are no borders, no divisions, just one fragile planet and one human family. And today, we need leaders with astronomical vision. Rupert Murdoch, one of the most powerful media moguls, has a ritual every morning. He spins the globe in his hand and he asks, what message do I want to bring to this planet today? And now I ask you, as creators of the technology, creators of the future, as thinkers and leaders, what message would you bring to this planet with AI? And if your message is any of these, please raise your hands. Thank you. Thank you. Holocaust stands as one of the darkest chapters in human history. Not because of Hitler's atrocities, but because an entire nation was blinded by propaganda and failed to show the courage to resist. And as we move forward in the age of AI, are we going to be a silent bystanders, or are we going to be a courageous leaders? Because remember, history does not repeat itself, but it often rhymes. And Bhagavad Gita teaches us, knowledge without action is meaningless, and action without wisdom is dangerous. Today, AI and data-driven economies has given us unprecedented knowledge, but do we have the wisdom to use it responsibly? Thank you.